Hello and welcome back to the channel. So this video is part of the knife throwing for dummies play series or playlist, and also target making playlist. Okay, now the one of the point of this video is to document the life cycle or durability of this particular target, and the other is to actually show other people how well it performed. Okay, now there is a part 1 to this video when the target was brand new, and this is part 2 when the target is, well, put it that way, I would love to change it to a new target. Now, for personal reasons, I can't do this just now, but as for transparency of the channel and to be truthful to myself, I have to say, well, this is the time when I would love to, so I have to make the video now. So overall lifetime of the target, right? So I put it up on the 20th of the 4th, so it's April this year. Now today is October 1st, 2nd of October, something like that. Overall, I worked out last night at 69 and a half throwing hours that I used this target up to this point, between brand new to this point. Now, I will explain in a different video why I can't throwing hours and all that. That's completely separate, it's a bit longer. Now, there is a couple of experiments or few experiments or tests I made or conducted during the life of this target, because this is the second pressure fitted target I made. So kind of experimenting with this idea. Now, a pressure fitted target is, or that's what I call a pressure fitted target. I don't know if the correct name. It's held together by two threaded rods, one at the bottom, one at the top, and those two rods, or some call it all threads, pulling the two side frames together, hence locking the blocks in place. There's no glue involved. Now, on this particular target, I also put up a backboard to the target face. So it's separate, or it's different from the frames backboard. Okay, it's a target face backboard. Now, the individual blocks are not screwed to this backboard. The reason for the backboard is, if you can see, I used two uprights to make each side of the frame. Okay, two on this side, two on that side. Now, because again, those are recycled wood as well, and one was warping way too much. Even two of them were warping. So the frame, sorry, the backboard is screwed to the frame to prevent further warping, kind of give it a bit more durability, so to speak. Okay, I like it so far, so it's good. It also helps with hanging the target. So that worked out well. Now, construction materials. Okay, so as I said, this is the second pressure fit target. I managed to score these big blocks. I mean, I cut them, but they were basically a skid, or a skeleton frame that a machinery set in a container to keep the machine upright. And then once the machine been lifted off, we got basically a oversized dispatch pallets, or oversized single-use pallets, which means that none of these blocks are square. You can actually see on the side here, it's actually, there is a hollow. Now, some of them slightly warped. I mean, it is what it is. It's cheap, full of knots, single-use kind of timber. Some might call it lumber, whatever. But what happened is, once I finished with the previous target, I didn't have enough big blocks to put this target together. So that was experiment maybe number 2, I can't remember, whatever. Can I use different size? So big blocks, smaller blocks, even different size blocks, and then same as the previous big block, and then smaller blocks. Can they all be used together in a pressure fitted target? And yes, the answer is yes, I can happily use them. The secret is, as you probably already figured it out, each column, so column from top to bottom, has to be the same. So individual columns have to be the same. So this column have to be the same all the way down. And the next column can be a different width as long as the second column itself are the same all the way down. Individual column. And then the third can be again anything different, doesn't matter, as long as the individual column is the same width of material all the way down, which basically means from side to side, top and bottom will be exactly the same, or very similar. So that worked out. Where the second question or question around this was, would it matter if the whole target face is not square? As you can see, I'll step back for a little bit, they're kind of all over the place. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. So you don't have to cut the blocks, the individual columns to the same height. Now that'd be just fine. Now, what happened though is the individual blocks at places like this one is shifted. Okay, remind you again, they're not screwed to the backboard. I don't want to screw them to the backboard, individual blocks. So this shifted. I have an idea, it's haven't been put into test yet, how to stop this. So that might be, I might be put that in the next target. So that worked out okay. Now the other test, or I don't know, experiment, when I put this target together, they were cracks or gaps like this. You have to look at the first video to see the size of it, size of those gaps. Now the idea is that you don't want gaps like that within your target, because this is what will happen. Basically the side of the blocks, the surrounding blocks, will split off easier. Okay? Now, and by doing so, it will reduces the lifespan of the target. To be honest, I no longer know where those initial gaps were, because as you can see, there's plenty of chewed up. The target has been worn properly. So has it been majorly reduced the target lifespan? Not majorly, no. Maybe a little bit, but not enough to worry about filling up the gaps that I used to do. So now don't do that. I mean, whatever, don't have to. Now, some parts of the target is still good, right? So actually I'm going to start on the other side. Initially I painted these squares because when I started with this target, I was silhouette throwing. So I was aiming at those squares. And by aiming a different part of the target, that would increase the lifespan, right? Now, about 6 weeks ago, I started learning half spin. That means no longer aiming. I'm happy with stick rate, which reduced the life of the target with two reasons. Okay, one is I have a natural, but here and there. These are, I'm going to step back, you see, there between the two black dots and between the two orange dots. That's kind of my natural aim. I don't know how to call it. It's basically without aiming, this is where most of my implements land. Okay, now some of these hollows are so deep that when the implements land properly, I can actually hear it hitting the backboard. And if it's keep hitting the backboard, it will make a hole in the backboard, and backboards are harder to come by than pallet wood. So I want to replace it. The other reason I would love to replace it is right now is because the targets do not wear in a linear wear pattern. Okay, so once they start to have, I don't know how can I show that. Yeah, there, here. See, this piece is already protruding. I have to keep hammering these not splinters, but pieces. Like here's another one. Okay, I have to keep hammering them back in because you can see the big mulch. I don't know what to call it. They just keep pulling out from the target. Now, there's a second reason. The target got a bit shorter life expectancy with learning. It's the second reason on learning. Because when you're throwing, most of your knives or implements arrive kind of straight, you know, wherever it lands. So yes, it may split the target like that, but it doesn't dig the pieces out. When you're learning, as your implement arrives on an interesting angle, it will do a prying motion. It will do a digging motion. So it does pull pieces out of your target. So I think learning reduces the life expectancy of the target. But overall, I mean, I was estimated 75 hours, maybe, got almost 70. So hasn't done too bad. Now, yes, I always explain that I don't worry about the beauty of my frame pieces because, as you can see, stray implements will chew up. I mean, I'm not that good at aiming sometimes, so and that way I don't have to worry about it. I just make a new frame, reuse the threaded rod up and bottom. Now, one thing I would love to emphasize: wetting the target. Basically, all you need to use is like a garden, small like a weed spray type of thing. Wetting the target increases its life life expectancy, big time. Because right now it's dry, and when it's dry, it's easier. Those splits, there's plenty of them. It's easier to detach themselves from the blocks. When they wet, they way more forgiving. Okay. So that's about it. Now, yeah, I will make another video when I explain what the individual little phrases I use might mean that I didn't explain in this video, but I don't want to make this video way too long. Any questions, please ask. And as I said, I'm somewhere along the line. Don't know exactly when I want to start making a new target. I should have a new target by now, so it's just enough changeover. But life had other plans. So yeah, this is the end of life of my target. Well, I'm going to keep using it, unfortunately. I don't really want to, but it is what it is. But in anywho, thanks for listening and see you in the next video.